What is the secret sauce behind Zinnovate's phenomenal success?
I think that we are a little bit of a unique breed in that we are, on the one hand, super focused, laser focused in one single domain, being air and ocean forwarding, which is a subdomain of global logistics. So in that domain, we have unique domain expertise, but within that domain, we combine that with a very broad view. So we're both small and big. We're small in that focus on one domain only, but we are broad in that we take a very holistic view on change management projects, on transformation projects. I spent 23 years as CIO leading global transformation project, and the most important learning on that journey was that unless you take a holistic view and look at projects of transformation not as process projects or organization projects or system projects, but business optimization projects, you will never reach the full potential. So the consultants we have, they are super deep in the CargoWise system, which is the system part of that equation I mentioned, but they have also unique process skills, and they are so experienced in driving change projects that they understand that at the end of the day, the most important matter for success is actually the human, the individual person. So unless you get to a situation where you have people embracing the change and hence embracing the organizational change, the process change, and the system change, you will not reach the full potential. So that's sort of the secret sauce. We are passionate about and completely obsessed with helping our customers achieve maximum business performance, and we understand that that would take a holistic view across systems, process, and organization. Then I think,
so that's a very sort of forward way to think, isn't it? Now,
I think also as I have been so many years, 23 years on the customer side, driving change projects or transformation projects, that I've learned to some extent the hard way, that unless you get that human factor right, it doesn't matter really if you have the best IT consultants on the planet. The change will, because you're not actually. People think that a IT system change at times is a change of IT system. It is the end target of that is a human behavioral change, just for the person-computer combination to be upgraded, so that the person-computer combination results in a higher value to the customers, but also higher satisfaction, job satisfaction for the person using the new tool. And unless you understand that and take this holistic approach, you will never reach the full potential. So that's a little bit the secret sauce and the mantra of Zinnovate. We are completely focused on maximizing the potential, or having our customers reach the full potential of global transformation projects.
Excellent answer. Lovely, that's great. Thank you, Håkan. So how is Zinnovate ensuring continued leadership within digital transformation?
I think it takes two things. There is plentiful of people that are following the leading edge tech, that are having a great helicopter view of what's coming in terms of exponential technology. And then there is another group of people that are extremely deep in their industry domain, super knowledgeable about the past, about the current. But only if you combine those two insights, you can deliver true value. So I think that's where Synovate is a little bit different. On the one hand, we very closely follow the leader thinkers and doers in exponential tech, but then we are capable of translating that into business value for our customers, since we have that deeply rooted know-how in freight forwarding. So we are in a way able to tell the difference between hype and real value. We are able to tell whether a exponential tech in VR and AI and blockchain and etc. is within the next 12 months or if it's 5 years out. And that's crucially important. If you're driving transformation and you are fooled to believe that something that are 5 years into the future is imminent, then you will just jump on something and be disappointed. So we can translate these, if we call them exponential tech opportunities, to real business benefits for our customers in the domain we focus on, global freight forwarding.
Lovely, thank you. So for a value-driven and purpose-driven organisation, like, what are the core values and the underlying why behind Synovate?
We have a couple of mantras, very few mantras in a way. One of them is a focus on making the whole more than the sum of the parts. This comes from two very clear observations I've made in spending decades on change management projects in the industry. One, that on the system side, even if you pick the very best systems on the planet for each individual function, if you don't get them to play well together, you will be underperforming. Like if you make a metaphor or analogy with sports, if you just bring in the 11 best football players on the team, and all of them are goalkeepers, it won't be good. Or all of them are like the Messis and Zlatans and the Ronaldos of the world, it will probably not be good. So that's an important part, to get the full orchestra to play. That's where you have somebody leading the orchestra. But that's an important part on the system side, and it's equally important on the people side. We pride ourselves to have the best consultants in the industry, but just bringing a bunch of high performance would not necessarily translate into a high performance team. So in that sense, we are striving both to make our own team the leading high performance team, but also help our customers. Our customers are oftentimes companies, as we have the privilege and pleasure to work with companies like UPS. UPS is a company that is also very much focused on those softer elements of the business, the HR elements, and they have a good number of excellent people, but that in itself does not translate to business success. So I think there is something we have in common with UPS, that focus on how do you make a number of systems or a number of people become where the whole becomes more than the sum of the parts. So that's one important mantra. We have another one is what I use an acronym ROC. For many companies that would stand for return on cash. For us, it stands for return on competence. And that is also driving very much the focus of Synovate. Return on competence for us means that the competence of our consultants should translate into value for our customers. So we're looking very carefully how we can match the competence of our senior consultants with the needs and wants and requirements of our customers to deliver maximum value. That's one part of the equation. The other part is for our consultants that competence delivery should maximize the fulfillment of our consultants. So we're trying as best we can to put our consultants in positions where we maximize their odds for success, where we have them stretch themselves so they grow and develop without putting them in a situation where it's overstretching so that they get overstressed or they risk to fail. And fulfillment, I think, is also very important. It's not a judgment by me as the leader to say that Rachel, as I am motivated by money, everything is around money, and all you will get is money rewards. It starts with asking you, Rachel, what is important for you? If that is traveling the globe, if that is money, to some extent it's always money to people, but if that is more free time, if that is the ability to learn and grow, so that fulfillment dimension is different for every consultant. And I think I've learned that the best way of finding out that for our teammates is actually to ask them rather than jump to the conclusion that they are driven by the same motivation drivers as I am. That would usually fit for some people, but not for others. So those I think are the two most important. Making the whole more than the sum of the parts, and ROC, return on competence.
I like that approach.
I also have, I call Synovate an R&R companies, and when I'm making my corny bad jokes, I allude to being a rock and roll company, but R&R in this case stands for relationship and reputation. We are extremely mindful of that. I would go at length to develop relationship and reputation, and I would go at length to protect them, knowing that both relationship and reputation may take time to build, but you can quickly destroy them if you're cutting corners. So when we actually have a proposal for a project, we evaluate carefully whether or not we believe our contribution here will lead to success or not. If we are not convinced about that, we will not take the project just because we believe that will give a good revenue stream, but probably it will not work out well for the customer. We will never do that. I mean, that's totally against this R&R strategy of relationship and reputation. That's super important for us.
Excellent. So the next question is about how the company goes about talent acquisition, talent development, and team building.
I think we have a very unique position in the industry. If we look at the CargoWise or WiseTech Global, our key tech partner in which are headquartered in Australia, they have now, I believe, 17,000 customers, and there are a group of maybe 350 competitors to Synovate in the space of delivering expert consultancy around that system, CargoWise. But 9 of the 10 largest global projects Synovate is the lead consultant. So we have 9 of the 10 largest, and the other 349 have in total one project. That means that we have the unique opportunity to attract talent, but basically telling them, come join our team. It's not just corporate bullshit if we say we have the best team, and we can provide you with the opportunity to work on the most exciting projects on the planet in this space. So that's of course one very important factor. And a little bit we are playing on the fact that winners attract winners. It's easier to attract talent to join a winning team than a losing team, if I'm putting it a bit harsh. The other part of that's talent acquisition. Then talent development is very much what we have talked about, this concept of return on competence. I want my people to grow, and I want them to feel that fulfillment as they grow. So it's not about 3 years down the road you will have a reward. The reward should be continuous by growing on the job and getting that fulfillment loop, if you may.
Excellent. So what would you say is next in store for Zinnovate?
Next in store, now that we have, if I use that a little bit, bold statement, that we have conquered this domain we're in, we want to broaden our portfolio of services, and that's a process we have started. So we have, if I phrase it a little bit negatively, we have been so successful in these CargoWise project that we have been a little bit trapped in our own success. So what is next in store is actually then to be a bit broader than we are. Digital transformation and helping our customers get an edge with cutting edge technology is there are many areas there is untapped for us. So if we look at the customer portfolio we have, some of our customers up to a certain size are purely air and ocean forwarder. Then we can already today deliver to all their needs. But if we're looking at companies like UPS, the UPS supply chain is still a very small minority of UPS overall. So I think what is important for Zinnovate is that even if we are the number one on the planet in CargoWise consultancy, that is not limiting us, because we are actually a lot of the things in terms of digital transformation and change management are generic skills, and we can. So that's number one in store for us, and we are beefing up. We are employing people in all geographies of the world. We are in the process of adding not only more people, but new skills, particularly in the area of the global transformation, particularly in the area of M&A, mergers and acquisitions. There are plentiful of mergers and acquisitions in the industry, and there are many aspects of that where we can deliver impressive value to our customers. And some that are a little bit distant from the logistics and freight forwarding industry may think that with all the decisions, all the acquisitions that has already taken place, the market is mature. That is not at all the case. The freight forwarding and logistics industry is still a very fragmented industry. So even if there are super well-known names like UPS, it's not like Google or Facebook or Apple that somebody has like 30, 50 or 70% of the market. Very far from that. So we will see a lot of M&A in the future, and I believe that will become an increasingly important area of service for Zinnovate to support our customers on those journeys.
Lovely. So that leads on nicely to the final question of how do UPS and Zinnovate collaborate to create maximum key value for UPS?
I think for a consultancy firm to deliver above average or superior value to a customer, there are a couple of factors to be in place. The competence factor is, of course, it must be there. It's sort of a hygiene factor. I strongly believe that Kinnevik is capable of delivering competence experts, competence consultants to UPS over and above what anybody else can do. But that is not enough. In order for a partnership like the one between UPS and Kinnevik to derive maximum value, there also need to be a very good cultural alignment between the organizations. Cultural alignment is, to me, a sort of a fancy consultancy term. At the end of the day, it's down to personal chemistry. So unless Rachel and Håkan work well together, you can speak about cultural alignment between Outlook Publishing and Kinnevik. It doesn't matter at all, actually. So we are very mindful that in this tango dance between UPS and us in the transformation project, that it takes two to tango. So even if we would bring a consultant with superior competence, if there is not a good personality fit, we will have to make a change there.
Yeah.
And I've been extremely happy to note, I mean, as a small company like Kinnevik, we have a challenge to be able to scale up, to dance with these big elephants. And I've designed Kinnevik in a way that we can scale up, basically on the basis of what you asked about talent acquisition, that we attract the best ones. They want to work on this project. So we have no problem to fill those spots. A big company like UPS, usually they don't have that challenge. They have all the people, all the muscles they need. Usually the challenge for huge corporations is that HR element, that you feel that you're a family member. It's much more difficult to create that family feeling if the family is tens or hundreds of thousands of people compared to 5 or 10 or 20 people. But that has been extremely pleasing to me to see that UPS have really that family feeling. The people matters. It's not just a vision statement or a marketing trick. It actually matters, and that's maybe that is the strongest bond where I see that I should use the word cultural line, that personal chemistry fit is so good between UPS and the tiny ant Kinnevik riding on this big elephant UPS.